Mothers all want their sons to grow up to be president, but they don't want them to become politicians in the process.
Do you ever feel like democracy just isn't working? You are not alone. Across the globe, people are frustrated, angry at systems that feel stuck, elections that seem meaningless, and leaders who fail to deliver. An excellent report by the Pew Research Center, link in the description below, surveyed 24 countries and found that dissatisfaction with democracy runs deep. People are calling for major changes, from systemic government reform to new electoral systems, more direct democracy, stronger judicial accountability. Many responses even emphasize the need for more informed and engaged citizens. These are all important topics that we'll discuss in future videos. But here's the headline. The number one thing people believe would improve democracy isn't about systems or courts. It's about politicians. Better leaders who are honest, competent, responsive, and less driven by money. The good news is, improving the performance of groups is a challenge that society has tackled successfully before, in various contexts. Whether it's in sports, business, or governance, it often requires systemic reform, investment in development, and a clear vision for long-term success. Let's look at two examples, one from the sports world and another from the world of business, that give us a blueprint for how to identify a poorly performing group in need of change and transform it dramatically. Then, we will apply the lessons to politicians with specific ideas for innovation. Let's do it. To tackle these challenges, we need to think outside the box. Improving politicians isn't just about asking individuals to do better. It's about creating systems that produce better leaders. To see how this can work, let's look at a surprising example: the German national football team. Their transformation offers powerful lessons for how we can rethink political leadership and create systems that cultivate better representatives for democracy. In the wake of a humiliating group stage exit at the UEFA European Championship in 2000, German soccer faced an existential crisis. Once a powerhouse in the global game, Germany's national team had become synonymous with outdated tactics, lackluster technical skills, and a lack of emerging talent. This failure prompted a wholesale transformation, marked by a long-term vision and structural reform of the sport at all levels. The first step in Germany's reinvention was a frank recognition of its deficiencies. Soccer officials admitted that the system no longer produced players who could compete at the highest level. This willingness to confront failure head-on was critical to initiating change. The German Football Association, the DFB, mandated that all top-tier Bundesliga clubs establish youth academies. These academies focused on identifying and nurturing young talent, emphasizing technical skills, tactical understanding, and professionalism from an early age. By 2001, clubs were legally required to allocate resources to these development programs, creating a structured pipeline for promising players. To ensure consistency, the DFB introduced a nationwide coaching program, training over 34,000 youth coaches and setting a unified curriculum for player development. This standardized approach allowed Germany to produce players who were not only skilled, but also tactically versatile, capable of adapting to modern soccer's demands. Germany embraced analytics to improve performance, using data to optimize training, analyze opposition strategies, and evaluate players. This focus on evidence-based decision-making ensured that investments yielded measurable outcomes. Beyond technical improvements, Germany prioritized building a unified team culture. Coaches like Jürgen Klinsmann and Joachim Löw emphasized collaboration, adaptability, and resilience. This environment allowed talent to flourish collectively, exemplified by Germany's fluid and high-energy style of play. The fruits of these reforms were evident a decade later. At the 2014 FIFA World Cup, Germany not only won the tournament, but did so with a youthful, dynamic squad that reflected years of systematic investment. Their 7-1 demolition of Brazil in the semifinals became an iconic moment, demonstrating the supremacy of their approach. Germany's success shows us the power of systemic reform and long-term investment in nurturing talent. But this approach isn't just limited to sports. It's a strategy that businesses have also used to transform underperforming teams into high-performing ones. One powerful example comes from Amazon, a company that faced significant challenges with its warehouse and fulfillment teams in the early 2010s. By addressing inefficiencies, investing in its workforce, and rethinking how to get the best out of its people, Amazon turned things around. Let's explore how their journey can offer lessons for improving political leadership. In the early 2010s, Amazon faced growing pains as it scaled its e-commerce operations. The company's warehouse and fulfillment teams, critical to delivering on its promise of speed and efficiency, struggled with inefficiencies, high turnover, and worker dissatisfaction. Recognizing that these challenges threatened its competitive edge, Amazon undertook a systematic reinvention of its warehouse and fulfillment operations. Amazon's leadership recognized that warehouse inefficiencies and poor morale were not just operational issues, but barriers to fulfilling their core value proposition: fast, reliable delivery. This honest appraisal set the stage for meaningful change. A major step in improving warehouse efficiency was Amazon's investment in robotics and automation. By acquiring Kiva Systems, now Amazon Robotics, in 2012, the company transformed how warehouses operated. Robots took over repetitive and labor-intensive tasks, allowing human workers to focus on tasks requiring decision-making and precision. This technological augmentation improved overall performance, demonstrating how innovation can support, not replace, human talent. Recognizing the importance of skilled workers, Amazon introduced extensive training programs for fulfillment center employees. The Career Choice program offered tuition assistance for workers to pursue education in high-demand fields, even outside Amazon. This investment in employee growth increased retention and attracted motivated individuals, proving that empowering people with skills and opportunities fosters a more capable and committed workforce. To address concerns about worker conditions, Amazon began enhancing its warehouses with better ergonomics, climate control, and safety protocols. It also leveraged data analytics to monitor performance and identify areas for improvement. These changes created a safer, more supportive work environment, enabling employees to perform at their best. Amazon raised wages and introduced competitive benefits, making fulfillment center jobs more attractive in a tight labor market. These changes not only helped recruit better talent, but also signaled Amazon's commitment to valuing its workforce. Amazon implemented performance metrics to ensure accountability while encouraging innovation at every level. Employees were given clear expectations and the tools to meet them, fostering a culture where high standards were the norm. To improve the quality of political leadership in the United States, we can take inspiration from the systemic transformation seen in Germany's national soccer team and Amazon's warehouse operations. Both examples show that meaningful change begins with honest acknowledgement of the problem and is sustained through investments in talent, clear standards, data-driven decisions, and cultural reform. Here's how these lessons can apply to cultivating better politicians. The first step in transformation is acknowledging the flaws in our political system. Americans are acutely aware of these issues. Polls consistently show dissatisfaction with political leaders and governance. Like Germany's soccer crisis in 2000 and Amazon's operational challenges in the early 2010s, this widespread frustration provides a critical starting point for reform: public recognition of the need to change. To attract top talent into politics, we must expand and improve the pathways leading to public service. Just as Germany developed youth academies to nurture future soccer stars, the U.S. should invest in comprehensive civic education from an early age. If students are required to master subjects like cursive writing or the periodic table, they should also be equipped with knowledge about elections, policy issues, and government systems. This foundation could inspire future leaders to engage with public service. Higher education programs in political science have shown significant growth in recent years. Bachelor's degrees in the field increased by 579% between 1950 and 2019. But translating academic interest into political careers requires more support. Hands-on programs such as internships, mentorships, and fellowships can provide practical experience, while structured leadership development programs like those in Sweden or Singapore can identify and cultivate emerging talent. Sweden's youth wings of political parties and Singapore's scholarships for civil service roles highlight how systemic investment can nurture leadership. Advocating for higher salaries and improved working conditions for U.S. politicians is a contentious proposition.
Whatever.
Yet it merits serious consideration. Currently, rank-and-file members of Congress earn an annual salary of $174,000. a figure that has remained unchanged since 2009. In stark contrast, the average CEO of an S&P 500 company in the United States was earning $17.7 million in 2023. This substantial gap may deter highly qualified individuals from pursuing political careers, as the financial and personal sacrifices, such as intense public scrutiny and demanding work schedules, are considerable. By offering competitive compensation and fostering a supportive work environment, the public sector could attract and retain top-tier talent, thereby enhancing the quality of governance. While this approach may face public resistance, it is a critical component of a broader strategy that includes increased accountability and elevated standards to ensure that public officials are both capable and committed to serving the nation's best interests. What if we could measure politicians' performance as clearly as tracking a construction project? Around the world, countries are already doing this, using technology to evaluate leadership and hold officials accountable. Let's explore how. Take Estonia, for example. Through their platform, called e-Estonia, citizens can access real-time updates on government services and project progress. In Finland, dashboards track national sustainability goals, making it easy to see how leaders are performing against clear benchmarks. Imagine if the US adopted something similar. A centralized platform could track federally funded infrastructure projects and compare actual timelines and budgets to what was promised. It could display job growth by region, industry, and demographic group to evaluate workforce policies. It could monitor metrics like school performance, public safety stats, and hospital wait times, directly linking results to the policymakers responsible. With this kind of transparency, citizens would finally have the tools to evaluate their leaders beyond campaign slogans and promises. Artificial intelligence and big data could take this further by analyzing outcomes of laws and policies. For example, AI could compare data from before and after a law is enacted, or compile citizen feedback, spending records, and audits into detailed performance profiles for officials. New Zealand is already using AI to forecast long-term impacts of policies in areas like climate change and social services. The US could use these tools to link leadership decisions directly to measurable outcomes, ensuring that policies are backed by data, not just rhetoric. Blockchain technology could also secure transparency. It can track every dollar of public spending and guarantee fair, corruption-free government contracts by creating tamper-proof records. The United Arab Emirates has already started using blockchain for public sector transactions, proving that this technology can reduce inefficiencies and build trust in governance. Of course, transparency only works if we enforce accountability. That's why strengthening ethics commissions is critical. Look at Hong Kong's Independent Commission Against Corruption. It has strong investigative powers and public trust, making it a model for rooting out corruption. The US could grant ethics commissions the authority to impose real consequences, like fines, removal from office, or disqualification from elections, while also ensuring that these commissions are fully funded and independent, so they can act without political interference. Fostering bipartisanship and collaboration is essential to breaking the gridlock in US politics. Just as Germany's soccer team emphasized teamwork and Amazon encouraged innovation, politics can benefit from creating spaces where ideas, not parties, take the lead. One approach is establishing bipartisan policy labs, forums where legislators from different parties work with experts to tackle big challenges like healthcare or climate change. Ireland, for example, used citizen assemblies, groups of everyday people supported by experts and legislators, to find common ground on contentious issues like same-sex marriage and abortion. These assemblies sparked real change and proved that collaboration, even on tough topics, is possible. By fostering innovation and collaboration through bipartisan labs and civic initiatives, the US can build a culture that prioritizes problem-solving over partisanship. While democracy faces significant challenges, history and examples from sports and business show us that systemic reform, innovative thinking, and a commitment to accountability can lead to meaningful improvements. Whether it's building a stronger political talent pipeline, leveraging technology for better decision-making, or fostering bipartisanship, there are bold steps we can take to revitalize leadership and strengthen our democratic systems. What do you think? Are there any ideas or arguments here that stood out to you? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Let me know which topics you'd like me to dive deeper into, and I can explore them in more detail in a future video. Together, we can start the conversation about solutions that truly work for everyone.